Tangle friends. It is days 7, 8, and 9 for our Inktober Tangle challenge. And I am recording tonight because tomorrow we have a big day. We're getting a ceiling put in the barn so that I can work in there on my art stuff, even though it's not heated or anything. But that way all the hay and the debris won't fall through the floorboards. So I want to get our things finished up today so that I can help with that tomorrow. Day 7 is Bars by Alice Hendon, and it's a really cool, easy tangle. I'm going to get my my PN pen, and as you can see here, I've already penciled in actually 7, 8, and 9 my crazy Huggins, because I do not want to forget this aura line again. It's just been so irritating to me. You'll see what we do. We're just going to jump off of these two here from our last from this tangle, and we're going to make some circles down here. Do our apple core join. Top it off, and then do our aura line. Now bars you can do in a straight line, or you can also do it as a wiggly line, and I really kind of like the straight line for this. Well, I'm going to follow this curve a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, sort of like a continuation under here of our very first tangle. And then we're just going to divide that up in these random sections by doing something like this. So what we want to do here is on either side of these dividing lines, we're just going to make 4 little dots. And this looks to me a lot like is bamboo. So even though there's straight lines, it's really kind of an organic tangle. That's it. Now all we have left to do is shade. And again, I'm going to keep this, since to me this is kind of like bamboo, I'm going to keep this in these color tones. So I'm going to get my graphite pencil, and this is how I would shade. Little on this side of the line. Oops, I forgot. And then I'm going to put a little bit on that midsection. It's right on top of the middle, so it bleeds a little bit over on either side. I'm also going to add that brown ochre color again, just to make it kind of coordinated with this here. And then with my white colored pencil, I'm going to add some highlights. Going right over that gray, just like we do with our grisaille. And I am going to get my blender. You can use your colorless blender. Just don't want the tooth of the paper to show. And then, as you can see, I have gone ahead and I started shading where we would shade Crazy Huggins underneath each of these curved areas. So I'm gonna go in there with my graphite and do that for this one. And we're gonna move on to day 8. Wasn't that quick? So day 8 is, let me look at my tangle tags. Oh, it is Found About by Zentangle Headquarters. And I have done a whole Found About tutorial that I'll link in the description below so you can really, get that in detail. So I'm just going to quickly add in here my Found About. I'm going to approach it from this angle and using my black. Yes, I'm going to start with the black, which is going to be these little shapes that to me look like rosemary leaves. And then I'm going to get my brown pen, reddish brown or brownish red, to make the pods, because I think I'm going to shade my pods in these reddish tones. Make a big belly. Okay, now we're going to do our little cups. Let's start at the top. I have to do one side first. And then go to the other side. So as you can see, some of these cups might need to extend down below here. So you've got this kind of little interwoven pattern going on. And then within those cups, I'm going to do some line work. Just going to make some 4 lines. And then I'm going to do a few, just a few of these kind of same shapes as we started with, but just to loosen things up. I'm not going to put any Found About on it. And now I'm going to shade with my, let's take Indian red. We just want to leave this big belly in the light, in a highlight. So we'll put white there and some white. I'm using my colored pencil rather than the generals. It's a little less fleeting. Sorry about the wiggling. I did get a new camera set up. That is, it's just my telephone, but I do have a new stand so that I can move my paper around. Thank goodness. But it's wiggling. Go back on a little. And finally, some graphite here. And then what I like to do here in the background is that black fill. So I'm going to have my pen and a graphic pen nearby. I forgot to even ink that out first, but I did not forget my Oraline, which is a good thing. So this would lend itself to adding some little berries also, but I kind of like the simplicity of this pattern with no berries, no more busyness. When you make these little extra leaves, you want to make sure that they're fat enough because they get kind of lost in this stage where you ink in the black. Again, this is kind of a lot of work, but it's that chance for you to just color like we used to sit on the floor as kids and just color in our coloring books. Very relaxing. So now that that's filled in, I'm going to try something. I think it might look nice. I'm going to try it with my generals so I can erase it if I don't like it. I want to see if it would look nice to have these little things white. Yeah, I'm liking it. Now we're on to day 9, which is another very beautiful floral tangle from Eni Oaken. It's called Bailarine, I believe. Now I'm left-handed, so I'm going to swirl my Bailarine a little differently than she shows in her step out. Let's see. So she shows in her step out to go this way. So I'm going to go this way because I'm left-handed, and that is just a more natural approach for me. Before we begin to put our tangle in this allocated Huggins space, I want to show you the tangle in whole because we're going to have to truncate it due to the space that we're working in, which is always actually a good exercise to do that, just to try to fit your tangle within a certain space. So you basically start with a circle, and then I like to drive around and jump up and bow out like this. Then we're going to go make our first petal, and from here we're going to build the other petals. And we're going to keep going about 3/4 of the way up. Oops. Isn't that pretty? And then when we come here, we're going to get progressively smaller. Like that. I'm going to put Bailarine in this area here. So I'm going to ink that out first so you know where it goes. Here are the 2 circles that we're building on. And then we're going to add 2 down here, almost to the end of our paper. So I have to look at this for a minute. I think if I start here, about here, I'll have room. So I'm going to start here with my little center. And I'm going to actually do an aura line. There's a couple different ways. You could also, one way is to do a little spiral in here, but I think I'm going to make this more of a gemstone, and I'm going to aura. And I'm going to get my red pen, or my brown pen. I'm going to do that. So you kind of drive along and jump off. And then come back. And then we're just going to fan out with these. Unfortunately, this is cut off, but we're going to get some of these fans going here in a minute. So you just do that all the way around, but of course we had to stop because of the line. And we get progressively smaller as we go up. This could have been more out, I'm seeing. So I'm doing this on the fly, as you can tell. But if you look at my step out, these petals go more, these ones down here are kind of hugging this circular motion, whereas they should be fanning out more, like this. So, oh well, you live and you learn. And I'm going to just add some white of my line here. And then I'll try that again down at the other end. Maybe I can do it right the next time. Reminds me of a little bit of the tutorial I did on sunny cirque, the cirque flower. But I called it sunny cirque because it made it look a little bit more like a sunflower. So let's try that again. I'm going to try it here. Maybe down here, so I can get that fan. So it'll be a little smaller. We'll be going up there and come down here. It's actually a really good exercise to try to draw within your confines. Helps you really understand. So see here, I'm doing it right. I'm going around. Pulling those out instead of this way. But I guess this is just a variation, right? And I think it would be kind of fun to make some striping here. It's always kind of a medieval look, like Knightsbridge, or I think we call this actually Beetlejuice. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the background. But first let's shade. Again, got my Indian red. You could also, we could change this up a little bit. Let's try a Sienna brown. No, I'm not liking that. Henna works. This is henna, but I really like the way the Indian red goes with the reddish brown pen. Sorry for the wiggling. There's always something, I tell you. My husband's going to have to figure something else out. I mounted this on the desk, this new phone tripod, and now it picks up every single movement that I make on the paper. So I guess my husband's going to be busy tomorrow figuring out how to mount it away from the table somewhere. Putting some on the points. And all this is going to look a lot better as soon as we get our white in there. I'm going to just do that black background again using a pen or a graphic and filling that out. That will help us really see the definition of these beautiful petals. And looking at this, I'd like to pull these together by adding some gold beads in the back of this black background. So I'll get my jelly roll out, or whatever gel pen you have. Here's another one I like to use, the Uniball. But I like the brightness of the Sakura jelly roll. Yeah, it definitely pulls that in more. So this is it. Days 7, 8, and 9. And let's see if we can get 31 Huggins on here. I've sort of pre-mapped it out, and I think we can, but this is what's happening. We're just building this on the fly, which is, I think, the most Zentangle way to do this. I hope you have fun with these tangles and are enjoying this Inktober Tangles 2023 as much as I am. I will see you in a few days. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye now.